My girlfriend secretly moved her friends into our vacation home. So I ended things and got her friends arrested. I'm 34, a software engineer who keeps to himself. I've worked my whole life, put in the hours, climbed the ladder, and finally got my reward, a lake house. Not a mansion, but my own retreat outside the city where I could relax, disconnect, and feel like all my hard work had led somewhere real. I'd been dating S for 2 years, and we were opposites. She was the type of girl who thrived on social energy, always in the center of attention, and had a group of friends who seemed to be her second family. As a bartender at a trendy spot downtown, she had this charisma that just pulled people in. Friends? Mixed bag. Some were nice, but others had this entitled vibe that clashed with my quiet approach to life. Still, I figured I could live with it. I cared about her, and it wasn't like they'd be a permanent part of my life, or so I thought. Then one night she brought up a request. Hey, rent downtown's insane, right? She said, sort of offhandedly, like it was nothing. A couple of my friends are really struggling. I thought maybe you could let them stay at the lake house just until they get back on their feet. The request took me aback. This was my place, a haven, and she knew it. It wasn't just some property sitting there unused. I tried to be gentle. Yes, I get that things are tough for them, but I really bought the house to get away. It's not just a spare apartment. She rolled her eyes and muttered something about not understanding real struggles, which I let go. That comment stuck with me. It wasn't the first time she'd dropped hints about my finances or the lake house, like I somehow owed her friends a free stay because I could afford it. That should have been a red flag, but I brushed it off, thinking it'd just pass. Weeks later, I found myself buried in work, pulling all-nighters on a project with deadlines that wouldn't let up. I barely got any sleep, and for days I was hardly at home, not even able to check on the house. During a quick conversation, S mentioned she'd been going up there on weekends to keep it cozy for us. I thought it was nice of her that she was maybe making sure the house stayed in shape while I was stuck working. She even sent me a couple of pictures of sunsets on the lake and mentioned getting it ready for a weekend together when things slowed down. Then, one Friday, I wrapped up the project ahead of schedule. I was excited. I thought I'd surprise her, drive up to the lake house, and we could spend some quiet time there. I pictured us relaxing, maybe grilling some burgers on the deck, unwinding together. But when I pulled up to the house, my stomach dropped. There was a beat-up sedan and a rusted van parked in the driveway. I didn't recognize either of them. The lights were on, and loud music thumped from inside. Not just music, but party music, bass pounding like it was some club. This was not what I'd imagined. I walked in, and the sight hit me like a slap. Strangers were lounging on my couch, shoes on, pizza boxes, and empty beer cans strewn across the coffee table, clothes thrown over chairs, and bags on the floor. The place was a wreck, and I didn't recognize a single face. A couple of girls in the corner waved their drinks when they saw me, flashing drunken smiles like I was just another party guest. Trying to keep my composure, I scanned the room, looking for S. Where's S? I asked, barely holding back the anger in my voice. Scruffy guy with long hair pointed his thumb toward the kitchen. She went to grab more beer. You're cool with Bud Light, right? I could hardly believe what I was hearing. Who are you people? I demanded, my voice rising. Why are you in my house? The girl with the drink waved her hand dismissively. S said it was cool. She told us this place was hers. We're just kicking back for a bit. I felt a cold anger settle in. She said this place was hers? The girl looked bored, rolling her eyes like I was some uptight stranger. Yeah, she said it was her family's or something, and that we could chill here for a while. She's awesome, you know? Just then, the front door opened, and S walked in, her arms loaded with cases of beer and bags of chips. The second she saw me, she stopped dead in her tracks, her face turning pale. Friends fell silent, all eyes flicking between us. She forced a laugh, but it came out shaky. Oh, hey, you're here early. I was just going to explain everything. Explain what, exactly? I asked, my voice sharp, anger barely contained. That you invited a bunch of strangers to my house and told them it was yours? One of her friends, a guy with a hoodie pulled over his head, snorted. Man, this is awkward. S forced a smile, clearly struggling to keep control of the situation. Babe, relax. It's not a big deal. They just needed a place to crash for a bit, and the house was empty, so you decided to throw a party in it? Without asking me? I was almost shouting now, the anger finally boiling over. These people are trashing my place, eating my food, and you think I'm supposed to be okay with that? One of her friends, a girl who hadn't even bothered to get off the couch, gave a loud scoff. Told you he was uptight. I turned to S, struggling to contain my fury. You need to leave. Now. This isn't a discussion. S's face flushed with embarrassment. She reached for my arm, trying to pull me aside. Babe, don't make a scene. They're just here for a few days. It's not like it's permanent. A few days? I looked around at the mess, the people treating my house like some cheap Airbnb. How long have they been here? She hesitated, then mumbled, a couple of weeks. But it's no big deal. That's weeks of people using my home without my permission? Are you kidding me? A tall guy, who I hadn't noticed before, swaggered over with a smirk. If it's such a big deal, we can clear out. Don't have to get all worked up about it, man. But S wouldn't let it drop. She was pleading now, her tone shifting from defiant to desperate. Please, babe. They're just my friends. They're going through a lot, and I was just trying to help. Isn't that what you'd want to do if they were your friends? I glared at her. My friends wouldn't treat someone else's house like this, or lie about it being theirs. But she wasn't done yet. Come on, it's just a house. And it's not like you're hurting for money. You can afford to help them out. I was stunned. She wasn't apologizing. She was doubling down, acting like I was the one being unreasonable. It's not about the money, S. It's about respect. You lied to me, and you let these people trash my home, and now you're trying to guilt me into being okay with it? Finally, her friends started getting the message. They packed up their things, muttering and shooting me dirty looks as they filed out. S was the last one, standing there with this look like I had somehow betrayed her. I can't believe you do this. They needed help, and you just threw them out. No, S. You threw them out when you lied to me and invited them in without my permission. She didn't respond. She just turned and walked out, slamming the door behind her. I spent the next week cleaning, fixing the mess they'd left behind, and just trying to process everything that had happened. It took days to get the house back in shape, but I realized something important in the process. I had been letting her walk all over me, and this was the wake-up call I needed. Top it off, I ended up going to the local police. I wasn't trying to get her arrested, just to document the incident, but it turned out a couple of her friends had outstanding warrants for minor offenses. Little ironic justice, I guess. She never reached out again. No apology, no explanation. It was like she vanished, leaving nothing but the chaos she'd caused. And honestly, I was relieved. For the first time in a while, the lake house felt like mine again. I'm moving on, and the lake house is back to being my sanctuary, just like it was supposed to be. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If you have any thoughts, I'd love to hear them, so please leave a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more stories like this one.